In this video, we learn about the space. Space is one of the most fascinating and mysterious places in the universe. It's a vast, empty area that exists beyond the Earth and the planets, and it extends in all directions, seemingly without end. When we talk about space, we mean everything that exists outside our planet, including the stars, planets, galaxies, and even the empty stretches between them. Even though it may look like a huge, dark, and empty space when you look up at the night sky, there's a lot more happening than meets the eye. What is space? At its most basic level, space is a vacuum. That means it's mostly empty, with very few particles like air or dust that we have here on Earth. On Earth, we are used to breathing air, which is made of gases like oxygen and nitrogen. These gases are held near the Earth's surface by gravity, creating our atmosphere. Space, on the other hand, doesn't have an atmosphere like Earth, which is why it's called a vacuum. The emptiness of space is so extreme that, compared to the air we breathe, space is practically void of any matter. The size and scale of space. One of the most difficult things to grasp about space is its size. Space is incredibly, almost incomprehensibly, large. The distances between objects in space are so vast that we measure them in light years, which is the distance light travels in 1 year. Light travels at an astonishing speed of about 300,000 kilometers per second, about 186,000 miles per second, which means that in 1 year, it can travel about 9.5 trillion kilometers, about 6 trillion miles. When you hear that the closest star to Earth, apart from the Sun, is about 4.3 light years away, that means it's more than 40 trillion kilometers away. Now imagine the size of the entire universe. The observable universe, the part of the universe we can see with our telescopes, is about 93 billion light-years across. That's a distance so huge that it's nearly impossible to imagine. And yet, scientists believe that the universe might be even larger than what we can observe. Planets don't shine by themselves. Instead, they reflect light from the star they orbit, which is why we can see them shining in the night sky. Besides our solar system, astronomers have found thousands of other planets orbiting stars in other parts of the galaxy. These planets are called exoplanets, and scientists are especially interested in them because some of them might have the right conditions for life. 2. Stars. Stars are massive balls of glowing gas, mostly hydrogen and helium, that produce light and heat through nuclear fusion. Our sun is a star, and it's the source of all life on Earth. The energy from the sun provides warmth, light, and drives weather systems on our planet. Without the sun, life on Earth wouldn't exist. Stars come in different sizes, colors, and temperatures. The color of a star depends on its temperature. Hotter stars appear blue or white, while cooler stars look red or orange. Some stars are much larger than the sun, and some are smaller. Over time, stars evolve, and they can end their lives in spectacular explosions called supernovae. After a supernova, a star might collapse into a dense object called a neutron star or even a black hole. 3. Galaxies. A galaxy is a huge collection of stars, planets, gas, dust, and dark matter, all held together by gravity. Our solar system is part of a galaxy called the Milky Way, which contains over 100 billion stars. Galaxies come in many shapes, such as spiral, elliptical, and irregular. The Milky Way is a spiral galaxy with arms that curve outwards like a pinwheel. Beyond the Milky Way, there are billions of other galaxies in the universe, each containing billions of stars. Some of the nearest galaxies to us include the Andromeda Galaxy, which is on a collision course with the Milky Way and will merge with it in about 4.5 billion years. 4. Nebulae. A nebula is a giant cloud of gas and dust in space. Some nebulae are the birthplaces of stars, while others are the remnants of stars that have exploded. Nebulae come in various shapes and colors, depending on the gases they contain and the stars that illuminate them. For example, the famous Orion Nebula is a stellar nursery where new stars are being born. 5. Black holes. A black hole is an object in space with such strong gravity that nothing, not even light, can escape from it. Black holes are formed when massive stars collapse at the end of their life cycle. Despite their name, black holes aren't empty. They contain a huge amount of matter packed into a very small area, creating a gravitational pull so strong that even light can't escape, making them invisible to telescopes. Scientists can detect black holes by observing how their gravity affects nearby stars and gas. Some black holes are millions or even billions of times more massive than the Sun, and they can be found at the center of galaxies, including the Milky Way. The Sun and the Solar System. Our solar system is a tiny part of the vast universe, but it's where we live, and it has many interesting features. At the center of the solar system is the Sun, a medium-sized star that provides heat and light to the planets orbiting it. The planets in our solar system are divided into two groups: the inner planets, Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars, and the outer planets, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. The inner planets are smaller and made mostly of rock, while the outer planets are much larger and made mostly of gas. Beyond Neptune lies a region called the Kuiper Belt, where many icy objects, including dwarf planets like Pluto, orbit the Sun. In addition to planets, our solar system contains moons, asteroids, and comets. Many planets have moons that orbit them, just like the Moon orbits Earth. Asteroids are rocky objects that are much smaller than planets, and most of them are found in the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter. Comets are icy objects that come from the outer parts of the solar system, and when they get close to the Sun, their ice turns into gas, creating a glowing tail. The expanding universe. One of the most amazing discoveries about space is that the universe is expanding. This means that galaxies are moving away from each other, and the space between them is getting larger over time. Scientists discovered this by studying the light from distant galaxies and noticing that it was stretched or redshifted, indicating that the galaxies were moving away. This discovery led to the theory of the Big Bang, which suggests that the universe began as a tiny, incredibly hot and dense point about 13.8 billion years ago. Since then, it has been expanding and cooling, allowing stars, galaxies, and planets to form. The Big Bang is the most widely accepted explanation for the origin of the universe, though there are still many questions about what caused it and what come before it. Searching for life. One of the most exciting goals of space exploration is the search for life beyond Earth. Scientists are studying the conditions on other planets and moons, especially those with water, to see if they could support life. Space tourism. Private companies like SpaceX and Blue Origin are working on making space travel accessible to ordinary people. In the future, we might see space tourism become a reality, where people can travel to space for vacations or even live on other planets. Conclusion: space is a vast and mysterious place, filled with wonders beyond our imagination. From the stars that light up the night sky to the galaxies that stretch across the universe, space is full of beauty and complexity. Though it can seem empty and silent, it's a place of incredible activity and constant change. Through exploration and scientific study, we are learning more about the universe every day. But there is still so much more to discover. As we continue to push the boundaries of space exploration, we will unlock new secrets about the universe and our place in it. The journey into space has only just begun, and the possibilities are as infinite as space itself.